Pierre Poilievre's bold plan to restore Canada's future and defeat national decline. The snap federal election on April 28, 2025, reshaped the political balance of Canada and signaled the growing divide between Canadians yearning for change and the political establishment scrambling to maintain control. Mark Carney, having stepped into leadership of the Liberal Party just months earlier, managed to secure a fragile minority government. It was a win on paper, but one that left many Canadians disillusioned and frustrated. Pierre Poilievre and the Conservative Party, meanwhile, surged ahead in the popular vote and earned 144 seats, one of the strongest Conservative performances in over a decade. The numbers told a story. Canadians are ready for a new direction, but the road to that future demands sharper vision, deeper connection, and strategic clarity. Poilievre's 2025 campaign wasn't short on passion or policy. He energized Canadians from the suburbs of Mississauga to the farmlands of Alberta. His speeches drew crowds. His message cut through digital noise. He highlighted the real issues affecting Canadians: skyrocketing inflation, housing shortages, long waits, crumbling infrastructure, and rising crime. But somewhere in the machinery of the election, the narrative slipped away. The focus shifted from Poilievre's message to Poilievre's tone. The media zeroed in on his tough language, his populist appeal, his assertiveness. Meanwhile, Carney, the polished banker with international credentials, was framed as calm, measured, and responsible. The campaign became a story about personalities rather than priorities. To win next time, Poilievre has to control that narrative. Not just respond to attacks, but proactively shape the conversation. Canadians are not looking for perfection. They're looking for someone who understands their struggles and has the spine to do something about it. The issues are plain. Inflation is eating into every household budget. Housing is becoming unattainable. Crime in cities is no longer isolated headlines. It's part of daily life. Voters want a leader who doesn't just sympathize with their pain but takes bold, clear steps to fix what's broken. That's the space Poilievre must occupy: focused, fearless, and forward-looking. One of the most urgent areas for that leadership is immigration. Canada's system, once a source of pride, has become overwhelmed. With over 1 million newcomers entering annually, infrastructure simply hasn't kept up. Schools are overcrowded, hospitals are understaffed, and housing is scarce. Poilievre doesn't need to close Canada's doors. He needs to realign the system with capacity. That means implementing temporary reductions, prioritizing economic class immigrants, ensuring full integration, and enforcing deportation for those abusing the process. These aren't fringe ideas. They are practical, popular, and overdue. Equally vital is the relationship with Western Canada. In 2025, Alberta and Saskatchewan delivered some of the strongest Conservative results in the country. But beneath that support lies a deepening frustration. Many Western Canadians feel neglected, regulated to the margins, and punished for their prosperity, especially in the energy sector. Ottawa continues to push green targets that ignore economic realities in the prairies. Poilievre must be clear. Western Canada will no longer be a piggy bank for the East. It will be a respected partner. That means respecting provincial autonomy, removing federal barriers to natural resource development, and allowing the West to chart its own economic course without apology. But leadership isn't just about what you say, it's about who you include. One of the major criticisms of the 2025 Conservative campaign was the centralization of power during candidate nominations. In riding after riding, local party members were bypassed. Strong, principled candidates were disqualified without explanation. Meanwhile, untested candidates were parachuted in for reasons that often appeared more cosmetic than strategic. That top-down approach alienates the very people who knock on doors, deliver signs, and build trust in communities. Poilievre must restore confidence in the democratic process by giving power back to the grassroots. Every riding should choose its own candidate through open, fair, and competitive nominations. At the same time, the party must better reflect the makeup of real Canadians. That doesn't mean tokenism or quota politics. It means identifying and elevating candidates who live the struggles most Canadians know firsthand. A deputy leader or campaign co-chair who comes from outside the Ottawa bubble, someone who has built a business, worked on the front lines of healthcare, or driven through supply chain chaos as a trucker, would be a powerful message. Not only would it show diversity of experience, but it would communicate something even more vital, that the Conservative Party isn't just about politics, it's about people. What made Poilievre stand out during the last campaign was his authenticity. Unlike many career politicians, he speaks in plain terms, unfiltered by consultants. He tells stories from the people he meets: single mothers who can't afford rent, tradesmen being taxed into the ground, seniors choosing between groceries and medication. That raw connection matters, and it's a quality he should lean into, not dilute. But he must pair that voice with a broader vision. Not just reacting to problems, but laying out a hopeful, ambitious blueprint for Canada. That includes building infrastructure faster, cutting red tape for small businesses, protecting free speech, securing borders, and creating a fairer, flatter tax system. Canadians are not asking for a revolution. They're asking for competence, honesty, and results. Pierre Poilievre has already shown he understands the issues. Now he must prove he can deliver solutions in a way that unites the country rather than divides it. Mark Carney's temporary hold on power is vulnerable. His government is stitched together by the thinnest thread, propped up by hesitant allies, and burdened by the legacy of a decade-long liberal decline. If Poilievre prepares now with policies, people, and a powerful message, he can position himself not just as the opposition, but as the obvious choice when the next election comes. There's little doubt the current path is unsustainable. Canada is facing a cost of living crisis, a trust deficit, and a growing disconnect between government and citizens. The liberal approach of endless spending, identity politics, and vague promises isn't restoring faith, it's eroding it. Poilievre offers a different way, one that believes in Canadian workers, empowers families, and expects accountability from those in power. But belief must be backed by boldness. The next election could come sooner than anyone expects. Minority governments rarely last. If Poilievre takes the lessons of 2025 to heart, sharpens his message, trusts the base, and surrounds himself with voices that reflect the country, he won't just win. He'll redefine what Canadian leadership looks like. In doing so, he could finally restore the promise of Canada, a nation built on hard work, fairness, opportunity, and unity. A country where success is earned, freedom is protected, and government serves the people, not the other way around.